new stipulation in the contract to the beast or whatever contract that they did with the being. This is all for entertainment purposes. We just observing the videos, right? We go add it up, 2 plus 2. What if they said, instead of the black people, we gonna enslave everybody, but they ain't gonna know they enslaved, right? Like, you gotta think about it. When you go into court and you're trying to stop all of these entities from attacking and going and messing up the country and stuff like that, and we gotta create some type of order. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Okay. We saw that the contract didn't continue through chains, right? But it continued within the minds of people. And that's why they studied your mind. That's why the MK Ultra happened. And they did all the studying on your bodies and all of these different, and they know what things trigger certain emotions, certain foods that we eat, certain hormones, all of this stuff. Like they've been studying our bodies to kind of become a slave to your own self. The conclusions and the patterns and the breadcrumbs that's been happening so far, like with the videos that I'm seeing, it's like blowing my mind. Not blowing my mind, but it's like something that I'm kind of like remembering or unlocking within my own self, like codes. And there's more prophecies. I don't even know how to fit all of this in one video. We even got to the African prophecies that's being told right now. A man named Chris Bledsoe, who was being investigated by NASA, the Vatican, and the governments and other governments all around the world about the same thing that the African prophecy is talking about. What Elon Musk said is all of these connections have to do with CERN shutting down for 4 years. We're gonna have to slide that over into another video because this is getting too long. In my personal opinion, I don't think the biggest thing is about this 400-year contract that's up. What if there is a literal or spiritual 400-year contract that is canceling out right now? Whether we are in Revelations or we are actually living a new Bible story. The point of this video is for your own perception. My point is whether you can perceive reality with greater discernment, because the whole thing about this is the unawareness that has been becoming aware in life right now, in the reality of what we've been living in. It's hard for me to believe that there's this evil entity out there that's just been sucking off of us and sucking our energy. And it's can say that in occultism there is egregores that come from our own beliefs and the programs that we decide to take in, especially with the Bible. Like we believe in the Bible, Christians believe there is a devil out there, but in occultism or in spirituality, there is no devil. Even in Yoruba traditions, there's no devil. There's only creations of humans. So I'm asking questions like, maybe the contract wasn't signed to these supernatural beings. That's just stuff in the background to me, the visions, the creative ways that our higher self tries to send us messages. Maybe right now we're recovering our discernment. Maybe right now we are eating the forbidden fruit. Because of everything that we went through and what we know from the stories of the Bible, maybe there's a different story being made right now. Because every tradition is talking about the same cycle. People receive a specific knowledge. They go through a bunch of stuff from receiving that knowledge and having to take in all of what they have forgotten. And then they're on this journey to try to find themselves and find out who they truly are. Some want to go back to the very things that enslaved them, and some people are choosing awareness. My point again with this video is for you to have more discernment. I want you to observe the consciousness. I want you to observe the patterns, observe the breadcrumbs, learn the universal language that's speaking in codes through everything, everybody, every post, everything that pops up in your face. Everything is about perception to me. Everybody's perceiving things a different way, right? But from the language that I'm reading with all of this is that the prophecy is not about the end of the world. I feel it's about the end of the version of ourselves that needed the world to be asleep in order for it to function. And maybe that's the contract that's ended. This video was a little bit different because I spent a little bit more time speaking my...
At that point of view, is what she's saying is true. What it is that it's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to wake up, and we have been asleep. If you remember, if you go to Ezekiel chapter 37, it talks about the valley of dry bones. We are those dry bones, meaning we're dead as a people. We don't know who we are, and we're going to awaken. We're going to awaken from, that's Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 1 through 14. But if you go to Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 22 through 28, you'll understand what's happening today. That's Ezekiel 36, verse 22 through, I'm just giving you the key points, 22 through 28. The spirit, the Christ consciousness is going to wake us all up who is seeking the consciousness to know what you need to know. And this is what's happening today. This is what has been hidden from you, from the society and from the beast. But the Creator gave you everything you need to know to awaken. It's up to you to want to be awoken. You already know that the consciousness is here. We are awakening, and you see everybody waking up now. Our time is now. And when it talks about Mikael in Daniel 12, what's to happen is what I'm doing right now. But then in Daniel 12:10, it says, many shall be purified and made white and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and the wicked shall not understand. But the wise shall understand. If you have wisdom, you have the knowledge, and if you have the understanding, you'll understand what's being said. So yes, the consciousness is time for us to wake up. And just to give you a key point in a nutshell, Daniel chapter 7, verse 17 and 18 tells you, in these two verses, give you everything in a nutshell. 4 kings is the 4 kingdoms that shall arise. But it's going to be another kingdom that's going to rise, that's going to devour all the earth. And they're going to, which is the saints, and they're going to take over the earth forever and ever. This is going to be us. We're awakening to that point now. If you don't understand prophecy, you don't understand what's happening. I'm a man of prophecy. I understand there's history. I'm a man of the law as well. But I understand there's history, scripture, prophecy, and stories in the book. But you have to understand prophecy to know where you're going and to know where we are. And you're living prophecy right now, and you're in the last days of the Gentile age. They're dying out. We are awakening to take over the earth as it is told to us. So other than that, I just wanted to share that with y'all to understand where we are, where we're going, and just that breakdown for Rome, Revelation 13, in a nutshell, the dragon released, or should I say relinquished his power to Rome, which is to be the dragon relinquished, which is Greek, relinquish his power to the beast, which is Rome. The deadly wound was healed, which is Christianity. And that deadly wound, they said they'd make an image to the beast. That image was your Jesus Christ or your prophet, whatever you want to call the man in the New Testament. A prophet did come, but he wasn't to be worshipped. He was no different than the rest of the prophets. But the Council of Nicaea and the Romans magnified him. And this is why people are worshiping a man. Breaking the first commandment, second commandment, and the third commandment in Exodus chapter 20. Study to show yourself approved. So, Greeks gave to Rome. Rome gained the power. They made Christianity. And then the symbol to Rome is the cross. That's the symbol. The image to Rome is Jesus. They made the image come to life, which is the red writings, because if you write in red, that means that you're alive. That's a whole nother sovereign knowledge there. When you write in red, that means you're alive. So they brought the image to life. Jesus never existed, whether you know it or not. So other than that, I thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening there, and that 66, man 666, that's the Pope. Vicarious Philly D. You'll see that in the 4 steps revealing Rome. Peace. I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm the same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwell, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. Peace.